Hey, sixth grade Panthers, welcome to the April 13th Language Arts lesson today. We're going to get you guys back into the swing of things by asking you to compose a persuasive paragraph. And this persuasive paragraph can be on a topic of your choice. So you're here, you're watching the persuasive paragraph video. The next thing you want to do is understand our objective. It's to get you to compose a paragraph that argues in favor of something or against something. So when you're finished with this lesson, make sure you've accomplished that objective. You want to have an actual paragraph that follows a lot of the guidelines that you're going to be following today, and that you've argued for or against something, and that your argument is clear. Okay, that's the goal of today's lesson, stating things clearly and arguing for or against something. To do that, you're going to be using a persuasive paragraph slideshow. And what you want to do is click on this link here that says Persuasive Paragraph Slideshow. And it's going to take you to this document called Persuasive Paragraph No Topic Given. And you're going to see a series of slides here that you can edit. And some of the slides you're actually going to be typing your paragraph on. But right now, all you can do is view these slides. So what you're going to want to do is to go to File, this word File up here, and go to Make a Copy. And you want to copy the entire presentation. And you're going to rename the document. The document's going to be called Your Name, and then Persuasive Paragraph. So let's say your name is Tom. It's just going to be Tom's Persuasive Paragraph. Okay, very simple name. But just make sure that it has your name in case your teacher needs to find it, and that it also has the word persuasive and the word paragraph in case you have to search for it later on and you're having difficulty finding it. Once you change the name, go ahead and type OK, and then you'll have your very own copy of the slideshow that you can type on. I already have a copy for myself that I'm going to show to you guys, so I'm going to hit cancel, but you should hit OK. All right, and first thing you're going to notice about this document is that it's pretty small. So to zoom in, you can just click on this button here, and you might want to go to like 100%. It makes the font a little bit easier to read. Okay, if you keep clicking, it's going to keep zooming in. So you have to unclick that plus sign, or else you'll be, it'll be way too big for you. So make sure you do that. First thing we want you to do, since we've been out of the swing of things, is to watch a brain pop video on types of writing. So if you haven't used brain pop in a while, the username is Providence ES. The password is Panthers. And if you click on this link here, it might take you to brain pop. I'm getting a redirect message on mine, but you will have to log in. The video you're watching is not a free video, and it's called Types of Writing. So after you log in, make sure you search for the Types of Writing video. You can watch the video. If you'd like closed caption text, just click on CC and that'll appear for you. I always suggest that after you've watched the video that you take the quiz and take the review quiz. That'll tell you right away if you get something wrong that it's incorrect, and it'll allow you to reselect another answer. So that's a good option. But it also just kind of makes sure that you got the main idea of the video, which is 3 or 4 different types of writing that we've been studying this year. So make sure you start off with that just to kind of get your mind frame back into language arts and back into writing. Once you're finished watching the brain pop video, you're going to go right back to your slideshow that you just made a copy of for steps 3, 4, 5, and 6. This first page is important to read. It's going to give you the must-haves for your paragraph. It has to have a title. It must have a topic sentence. It has to have at least 3 supporting points and examples. It has to be spell checked. The first sentence, since it's a paragraph, has to be indented, and you want to have a clear conclusion sentence. Don't forget your conclusion sentence. Everybody always does. Make sure you have a good one that's convincing. We don't want you to use words I, my, we, or us. Okay, you want to state things as facts. You don't want to say I believe or I think. Okay, just state your position. Same thing here, in my opinion or I believe. In conclusion, try to leave that out of your conclusion sentence. find a different way to make your final point. These are all the reasons why. Not a good way to start your conclusion sentence either. And that is why I. Okay, try to be creative. You want to end your paragraph with a convincing point or something memorable for the reader to leave with. Paragraph requirements. You have to have a topic. The topic I've chosen is, should professional sports be played during coronavirus or not? That was what I thought of because that's a topic that's on my mind. Not just professional athletes. I like to play sports. My kids like to play sports. I know a lot of sixth graders at Providence that like to play sports. And all these sports seasons got canceled. And there's not a whole lot of sports on TV, and I miss it so much. So I thought this was a good topic. Some other topics I've heard students talk about in Blackboard Collaborate are, some students said they're not allowed to go outside. So should you be able to go outside? Maybe you don't think you should. Maybe it's not safe. Maybe you think you should and you're not allowed to, so that could be a good topic. Another one is that we talked about in Blackboard Collaborate is, should we have SOL tests? So think about that, if that could be a good topic. But really, the choice is yours. You can come up with whatever topic you'd like for this paragraph. We'd like you to have your paragraph written today and have it ready to be shared with your teacher. You can either share that with them by sharing this document with them. You could share it with them during morning meeting at some point this week, or you could share it with them during office hours. But we do want to see and hear your paragraphs this week. After you've chosen your topic, you want to type it in this circle here. So to do that, you just click on the presentation. A blue box will appear and you can type in there. If you want to delete what's written there, for some reason you change your topic or something like that, just highlight it and hit backspace. The second page, you're going to be asked to come up with arguments for and arguments against. So the arguments I came up with for were, sports are entertainment. People need entertainment during this time. I thought of a way that games could be played without fans. A lot of people are talking about that. And that there's lots of different tournaments, like the Masters Golf Tournament, the NHL playoffs, the NBA playoffs, Major League Baseball opening day, that never got to start and even never got to finish. The NCAA basketball tournament, all kinds of important things for athletes never took place. So I thought those were all good reasons why we would want to play sports right now. Then I had to come up with arguments against, because whenever you're making a strong argument, you have to consider the other side, and you have to kind of address that. It strengthens your argument if you can kind of talk down the other side's points. Arguments against playing sports right now would be it puts the athletes in danger of getting sick or spreading the virus. People really right now, they shouldn't be doing a lot of traveling from city to city or state to state, especially if you're coming from an area that has a lot of virus problems and you go to a place that doesn't have it. You could bring it with you. And also, most sports require players to get close to each other or have contact or be around each other on a bench even. So social distancing is really hard to accomplish when you're playing different sports. So I've got these lists now, and really, it doesn't really matter what I think. I want to pick the side that I can write the most convincing paragraph for. Okay, so that's what I want to be thinking about when I'm done making arguments for and arguments against. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to restate your topic here. You can copy and paste it even. And then you have to say what you're going to argue. Okay, so you have to pick a side. This is important because when you're done writing your paragraph, you want to have chosen a side and clearly argued for it or clearly argued against it. So here I just said that athletes should be able to play sports during coronavirus. You want to fill in these boxes here. My first argument. Usually start with your strongest, most convincing argument. If somebody disagreed with me, they might say that. Okay, think about the other side and why they would say it. Your second argument should be typed in this box. What would someone who doesn't agree with you say? And then your third argument, and the same thing again. Consider what someone who's arguing with you might say. And this is even a step where you could argue with someone. You could ask a parent, you could ask a friend, you could ask your teacher at office hours what they think of this topic. Really try to think about what the other side would say if they disagreed with your position. Okay, moving along here. to the next slide, this is where you're going to outline your paragraph. So again, you're copying and pasting your topic here, and you have to come up with a thesis statement. Remember, a thesis statement is the main idea of any research paper. In this case, you're not writing a research paper, you're writing a persuasive paragraph. So your thesis statement, what it should do is tell the reader your position. And if you want to mention some of your arguments, you can, but I wouldn't go into great depth in your thesis statement about your arguments, because that's going to steal your thunder later on. Okay, so save your main points. You might just want to say, athletes. It's outrageous that athletes can't compete this spring because of coronavirus. Okay, that lets the reader know your position and how you feel about it, and then you can give them the details later on in your paragraph. Supporting point 1, and then you can give an example. Supporting point 2, you can give an example. So maybe my supporting point is that there's a lot of people who've been training for a very long time and they never even got a chance to compete at the end of their season for a championship. And my example would be the Michigan State basketball team. I'm a big fan of theirs. They had a great player named Cassius Winston. They finished the season really strong, and they never got to play in the NCAA tournament. So that would be my example. Supporting point 2, same thing. Try to come up with a unique example that matters to you so that you can argue it well. Don't forget your conclusion sentence. Okay, you got to wrap everything up together. If you're having trouble thinking about how to start your sentences, there's a list of transition words here at the bottom for you. Finally, when you're done, you want to take all these pieces here and you want to type them into your persuasive paragraph. Remember to indent. The first time you finish writing, you can check the rubric. You always want to read the highest score. In this case, it's the wow column. And you want to make sure that you've covered as many of these bullet points as possible. If you feel like you have in each area, excellent. Then maybe you have a great paragraph. There's usually something you can go back and change, though, and that's why we want you to share your paragraphs with us. We might see something that you don't. You can have someone at home proofread your paragraph. Feel free to share your paragraphs with your peers if you know their email addresses. And please read these at morning meetings this week or during office hours, so that when you're finished with this activity, you get the feedback you need for your paragraph. There is an extra page on here. This is just something to think about if you're trying to write a little more sophisticated argument. You may not want to write just a paragraph. You might want to think about writing an essay. So if you really get into this and you want to write a persuasive essay about a topic and maybe even mail your letter to someone or submit it to a teacher or to Mr. Phillips or the superintendent or whoever, or for me it would be like, I don't know, maybe the commissioner of a sports league or something like that for my topic. But this is here for you if you want to take it a step further and take your paragraph into an essay. Okay, I hope I answered your questions. If I didn't, you can visit myself or Miss Russell today during office hours. We'd be happy to see you. Good luck with your persuasive writing today. Have a good one.